How do you physically prepare for a speech? Throughout my YouTube channel videos, I've created a lot of content on how to build an effective speech structure, how to deliver an impactful presentation with things like eye contact, body language. But until now, I haven't put a video out talking about such an important piece, which is what to physically do in the time immediately leading up to the speech you're about to deliver. This video covers exactly that. I'm going to talk about some of the things you can do to get yourself as physically prepared as possible. So if you've done your homework and you've built up a great speech, and then you combine the lessons from this video, physically looking after yourself and setting yourself up for success, you are going to knock your speech out of the park. Hey everyone, my name is Wade Patterson, and my whole YouTube channel is dedicated to helping you become a better, more impactful communicator. Communication is something that is essential in life, whether we want personal success, business success. Much of that hinges on our abilities to communicate well with others. If this is an area you're looking to improve, please subscribe to my channel. It's my mission to put out a lot of great video content to help walk you through the steps to become a better communicator. So let's dive right into these tips of how you can physically prepare to give a speech. And the first thing that is so important is to consider doing exercise or working out the morning of the day you're about to give the speech. How many times have you gone to the gym and then said to yourself, I regret that. That didn't really feel great. I'm not happy I went and exercised. I'm guessing it's pretty rare. Maybe if you injured yourself or an extreme example like that, but usually what happens is when we take the time to exercise or work out, we feel incredible. There's a chemical release in our body that makes us feel so happy we took the time to exercise, and it sets the tone for our day. In my experience, the days where I've had to give important speeches, almost always I will try to fit a workout in earlier that day. It sets the tone, it gets me physically ready, physically prepared, and then later that day, I'm not feeling sluggish, I'm not feeling out of my element, I'm not lacking confidence. All of those things feel better when we incorporate working out into our day. So exercise is one of the most important things to do the day of giving a speech. A second tip is to do some form of meditation or visualization. Many people who are successful at what they do talk about the importance of visualizing themselves doing something well, and this is something I do often before giving a speech. Heck, even when I practice giving a speech, whether I'm in my bathroom or whether I'm in my kitchen or wherever it is that I'm standing up, rehearsing, going through my speech, I try to visualize to the best of my ability what the crowd will look like, what the configuration of the room will be, roughly how many people I'll be talking to. I'll do my best to create, almost make believe this in my mind that they're watching me as I'm practicing delivering this speech. And by visualizing myself doing it well, often when I actually get to the place where I'm going to be speaking, it reduces the anxiety and the fear because I've been through this, I've mentally prepared. But then physically, once I'm up on stage, I'm prepared as well because it's not such a surprising thing if there's a big crowd. I've already thought about the fact how many people will be out in the audience. So this focusing internally and picturing yourself not only delivering the speech but doing a very good job of it is an important piece in preparing yourself to deliver. The next piece of advice I have for physically getting yourself ready to deliver a speech is to reduce your alcohol consumption. Now, I understand that many speeches are given either as part of a wedding, and usually there's a lot of alcohol drank in and around a wedding, and also for business presentations, whether it's a conference or that type of event. And again, often the drinks are flowing at these business events as well. I'm not saying you can't drink anything, but I am suggesting that you should definitely limit that alcohol consumption The night before, definitely, I would say don't drink anything the day of. An example of this is if you're giving a wedding speech that evening, often there's drinks going around during the day. Okay, you can have a sip as part of a champagne toast if that's completely necessary, but don't have a few drinks before you go up and deliver. Many people will act like it's no big deal. They will have those drinks. They tell you they're just gonna wing the speech. They get up there. But time and time again, in my experience, I've seen those individuals deliver the speech, and it's not done to the best of their abilities. Alcohol, it fogs up our minds a little bit. It makes it more difficult to communicate coherently and flawlessly. And if you're wanting to do a really great job on this speech, it's worth the sacrifice to limit that consumption. And then after you're done, hey, if you like to drink, by all means, celebrate with a pint or 2 or 4, but deliver your speech first, give yourself the best shot to deliver it well, and then enjoy the alcohol after. When giving a speech, it's really important to give yourself a good night's rest the night before. As I mentioned earlier in this video, there are a lot of tempting things that happen in and around events where we may be giving a speech. If it's a wedding, there's parties that happen the night before and celebrations, and you probably want to be out late spending time with those people. Do so to some degree, but if you have the opportunity to step aside before things get too crazy, your body will thank you the next day that you've given it a full night's sleep. Same situation with work conferences. Often people are heading out to the clubs after maybe different dinners or events. If you're giving an important speech, it's probably the responsible decision to cut out early, get a good night's sleep, and deliver that presentation. The reason I'm telling you these tips isn't to take away from your fun. Of course, you want to enjoy the event, but you also want to give yourself the best opportunity possible to crush this speech. It would be a shame to go to all the work of practicing a speech weeks beforehand just to have a limitation because you didn't get enough sleep or you drank alcohol and you weren't physically ready. Give yourself a bedtime that's a respectable time to get that 7-8 hours of sleep, whatever you need to function at the top of your ability. The next thing to keep in mind for physical preparedness before giving your speech is to have food in your belly, but not too much food. Depending on the context of the speech we're giving, if it's at an event, there may be a big buffet, and while it's tempting to go and fill our plates and eat as much as you can, if you eat too much and are feeling uncomfortable, that is going to be a tough situation. It's going to add stress before you get up in front of an audience and deliver a speech. But at the same time, if you're too nervous and you don't want to eat anything, then we get the risk of things like lightheadedness, not having enough energy. You want to strike that balance. Eat food, preferably healthy food before going up, enough that's going to make sure that you're not hungry, your stomach's not growling while you're up there, but don't overeat either, because that could put you in an even worse position and make it really difficult to perform to the best of your abilities. The next thing to keep in mind to ensure you're physically prepared for delivering this speech is to drink a healthy amount of water that day and bring water up onto the stage with you as you go to give your presentation or speech. Our bodies do funny things when we are standing in front of a crowd, and often something I've seen many times before is people's mouths go dry, and then they have this gross sounding, almost like lip smacking noise that happens because their mouths are dry, and it's one of those nervous responses that our body gives. You can be prepared for that, and the way to do it is to have water on stage, have drank enough water beforehand, but then if you notice that you start to get that sound, if you don't have water, often it gets worse because then you become mindful of it and you get even more nervous, and then your mouth gets drier. But if you're prepared, you have water there, you start to notice that sound is happening, pause between sentences, grab a cup of water, have a drink, and then continue into your presentation. Nobody will notice. Nobody will think that's weird. All of the best public speakers always have water on stage with them. A final tip I have for physically getting ready for delivering a speech, and this is one that you, my friends of the channel who have watched a few videos before, know that I've talked about, and that is standing up before you deliver the speech. It is difficult, especially if we're at an event where most of the evening or most of the day we're sat down, to go from sitting for a long period of time to then being invited up to the stage and giving a presentation after being sat for so long. If you know your opportunity to speak is coming up in the agenda, if it doesn't look awkward, stand up and stand at the back or the side of the room. That's going to help your body get ready. It knows, okay, I'm standing up, I'm getting ready for action, something's about to happen. Or if that's not possible, depending on the dynamic, still stand up, maybe go for a quick walk outside the room, get yourself physically ready. So you're not going from just sitting in your chair to all of a sudden standing in front of a crowd, which is an intimidating place to be. When your body is stood up, give that strong posture, shoulders back, big breaths, breathing, look at the crowd and get yourself physically prepared, and that's going to help so much. I know this was a bit of a different video, but hopefully this video on how to physically get ready for giving a speech or a presentation was beneficial to you. If it was, let me know in the comments. I'm always curious on what areas I should focus on for delivering these types of videos and advice to you. So hopefully you got some value out of it. Also, if you haven't done it yet, please subscribe to my channel. That is one of the best ways you can support me, and it's free. You just get those little reminders from time to time with the thumbnail with my face on them when there's a new video, especially when you turn on notifications. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I will catch you on the next one. People are more scared of public speaking than they are of dying. Is it just me, or is that wrong? Hey everyone, my name is Wade Patterson, and I am passionate about impactful communication. My YouTube channel has helped hundreds of thousands of people improve their public speaking skills, and I am thrilled to release my first ever course, which has taken my decade of learning about how to become a better public speaker and boiled it down to this theme of mastering the 5 essentials of public speaking. I know for a fact that if you can dial in these 5 elements and perfect them, you are going to be a phenomenal public speaker, head and shoulders above the rest, just by being aware of these things. By taking the time to digest the information in this course, practice it, and then put it to action through your speeches, you are going to become a better public speaker. As a bonus in this course, I sit down with the world's greatest freestyle rapper, Harry Mack, and one of the greatest keynote speakers in the world, Sean Kanungo, and I get their tips firsthand of what makes them incredible at what they do. If you agree that public speaking definitely should not be scarier than dying, sign up for my course. You won't regret it.